We making Krabby Patties. We making Krabby Patties. We're making
Oh
Krabby
God,
Patties.
that
Tokyo to
song.
Cincinnati. Yeah, I,
Oh
I,
jeez.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't that? I remember Silva Gunner used that in one of their videos, right?
That's exactly where I first heard about it. I don't pay attention to Nick as much as I used to.
Yeah, for real. Anyway, hi again, y'all. This is me, Clean Drips, and special guest, my friend Trent, joining me here for this video. How you doing, Trent?
I'm doing splendid. I got done finishing food and drawing and stuff, so I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, and I'm glad to have you on here too. This is
Yes.
we're on episode 2 now of my Battle for Bikini Bottom Let's Play, Jellyfish Fields. It's kind of funny. I consider this to be sort of the what was that first world from Super Mario 64? The Bob on Battlefield, right?
Yeah, I actually thought you were gonna say this is like the Green Hill Zone with SpongeBob because everyone always associates this with the game
Well,
and like how Green Hills.
that's actually true too. I kind of thought of the same thing. But yeah, mostly I think mostly Bob on Battlefield. I guess just because this is kind of like the first, this is the first world you get into where you don't need anything else to access it, and this is kind of the one that gets shown off a lot. Or I guess that would be more like Blomp's Fortress for Super Mario 64.
Yes,
But yeah,
I
Green
think
Hill
it's
Zone. That's actually a pretty interesting comparison, and I definitely agree. Like even with all the footage and everything that we got for Rehydrated, especially, it was all mainly Jellyfish Fields at the start.
yes because it's the first level. I really love how hydrated looks because no offense to the graphics of this game because I like how this game looks. The shadows are really really heavy, but with rehydrated, everything is so beyond vibrant. It's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Rehydrated, there are some things I think it does better, some things I think it doesn't necessarily do as well. That's kind of later game stuff, but I definitely agree. I think the colors in Rehydrated are beautiful, very vibrant, very nice to look at, overall visually pleasing. And I think Jellyfish Fields and did you see the footage for Downtown Bikini Bottom?
Downtown, but yes, I did. The one where he transforms into a ball and you could do like Devil May Cry maneuvers with sandy cheeks.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, I definitely think that one got a really good upscale. I think it was mostly in like the dream levels and stuff. Some of that early footage looked kind of weird, but after updating it, I think they kind of fixed the skybox in some later tests, and I think it looks really great now. But that
Huh.
was I'm a little biased here. Me personally, being from Texas, I personally love Sandy's Dream and all the Texas references. How every platform was in a Texas shape, and a lot of the buildings are designed to look like the Alamo, stuff like that.
Oh, so you didn't mind that when you went into like the brain, it was nothing but bull dookie.
No, no, I didn't mind that at all because honestly, I mean, manure. I think if you go to some more like the old timey towns, stuff like that in Texas, you're probably going to come across more stuff like that. But I
Wow,
like
I
that it was a giant longhorn and everything. What you got?
wow, I overthought that fucking dookie scene, didn't I?
Oh, the Dookie scene. What exactly are you talking about there?
I thought that the dookie was supposed to be a metaphor.
No, no, I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be, like cowboys and manure stuff like that. In fact, you ever seen that movie Back to the Future 3?
I it's I barely saw any of the Back to the Future movies.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. They're actually some of my favorite movies, but I always remember that one scene from the third one where Marty McFly knocks out Mad Dog Tannen and he falls over in that little cart full of manure, and he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
I hate manure." So I
oh,
always kind of associate that. Like I just always sort of think of it as like this, this sort of Texas country thing,
oh
because
my
it is what it
God! I
is.
really wanna. As of late, I've been getting a real interest in country and American culture. And Texas is like how would you describe Texas? I hope we don't go
Oh
off on too
man.
much of a tangent here.
No, no, no. I think that's fine. Personally, I mean, I love living in Texas, but it's pretty interesting over here because it's such a diverse sort of state. I mean, not every city is the same. I mean, San Antonio is not going to be the same thing as Austin. But because Austin is it's kind of more of like the sort of more of the music, more of the hippie sort of side, I guess if you could say stuff like that. But San Antonio is very diverse, very rich with the culture, things like that. I mean, we got the
Mm.
Alamo, we have Fiesta, which sadly was canceled this year due to the whole Corona thing. Um, But yeah, no, we got a lot of history around here, so it was that's why Sandy's always personally been one of my favorite characters in the show, was because of her whole Texas side, which is kind of why I really lost interest in her after the show, kind of continued after the movie, because I get that she was a scientist and everything before, but it kind of became her only attribute.
Oh my god. And that's why representation is important, kids.
Oh yeah, for real, for real. But yeah, no, you're definitely. I think it's great that you're getting more interested in Texas, things like that, because yeah. If I can talk about skinwalkers for a second, that's kind of that's your whole thing going on, and you're trying to go for a whole country sort of aesthetic and idea, right?
Yes. Skinwalkers is a comic I want to work on, and the whole thing is just urban monster hunters, and it's a mix of urban and country. God, there's just so much that I have on my mind right now. I I can't just spitball exactly what I want to do. I'm just focused on looking at this gameplay right now. But
No,
yeah,
no,
with
that's fine.
Skinwalkers, I'm really looking up a whole bunch of country stuff and doing my research on urban legends and stuff, and it's just there's so much untapped potential
Yeah,
with
I
that concept
definitely.
of monster hunters in America, because chupacabra, I know that's a Mexican thing, but I meant Sasquatch, werewolf. I
Yeah,
am
no, definitely
scattered. I'm
that stuff
sorry.
that stuff is out there too. In fact, it kind of reminds me of a lot of those like what are they called, Fakemon? A lot of those like fake Pokemon ideas, of different regions. And I think I remember seeing one that I remember seeing on Tumblr or something like 5 years ago or so was like creatures based off of Native American and American mythology, like the Jersey Devil and Sasquatch and things like that. So it's always really cool to see that sort of thing get representation. So I think that's a really cool idea what you're going for with skinwalkers and everything.
It's again untapped potential that I barely see anywhere else, and that's probably because I don't watch many live action stuff, even though I probably should, which could help me tell better stories. I've been watching um uh Dusk Till Dawn, that Spike TV show, and something completely different. With all the stuff that SpongeBob parodied, how come none of them uh parodied Pokemon?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I guess SpongeBob always kind of parodied stuff. Oh, here's me, kind of failing to jump on back on the little tiki there. Yeah, my
It's funny for the
platforming in the game's a little rusty, as you can see, but
yes. I thought you played this game all the time.
I played it all the time when I was younger, but it's been a few years now. So, plus I'm playing the
Oh,
PS2 version here. I usually played the Xbox and GameCube version before.
yeah, you graphics whore, aren't you?
Yeah,
I play everything on PlayStation 2 because that's been my childhood console.
yeah,
In
that's
fact,
cool. That's cool.
um, that was the game I played Battle for Bikini Bottom on. But before that, I played so much of the movie game, and that was the game, and that was the movie that sparked my love of storytelling. I would make all kinds of crossovers in my mind where SpongeBob fought Satan instead of Kaiba in that order. He married Minnie the Mermaid.
That sounds amazing.
I think I would do things where I would have two game consoles, my GameCube and PlayStation 2, where I would have the sound test on Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 play while I play SpongeBob footage.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I remember being a huge Sonic nut when I was little, and I remember what first. I remember I would draw cartoons and like little comics and things like that. And one of the earliest ones I remember was actually a comic that was crossing over these terrible, terrible like self-insert Sonic OCs with the actual story of this game. And it was I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it basically involved fighting giant robots, which to me at the time made sense because hey, Sonic had robots and this game had robots, so it worked out. But I guess the larger thing at play there is it is kind of funny how kids, sort of take different media and things like that they consume and just sort of cross them together.
I mean, the entire like point of a style is to embody everything you love and what you surround yourself with. Like that's how a person is made. They surround themselves with how they're raised. And I am just trying. I'm sounding really philosophical, but I'm so scared of stumbling over. But I hope you know what I mean.
No, no, I know exactly what you mean. I think that rings pretty true. People, again, like I said, they consume different kinds of media, and then they sort of, uh, for lack of a better word, sort of put that out in their own way. And yeah, definitely what you're saying about a style, I think that's, that's a pretty agreeable thing to say.
SpongeBob has a huge impact on how I tell stories and write characters, and I don't even know why SpongeBob was the centerpiece to be like the ultimate hero for me that crosses over with almost everything and just fights Slade from Teen Titans and Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Well, I don't know.
And
I think
I
it's
don't know.
just he's kind of an everyman, you know. In a show like this where everything goes, oh, this part where I missed the sock. Yeah, actually.
How many socks does this stupid store have?
How, what?
How many socks does his best friend Patrick Star, who is not stupid, have?
Oh my god. I think you collect something like 80, like 70 or 80. Like you get like 7 or 8 golden spatulas from him collecting the socks. But yeah, the way we're gonna play this out here is it might not be 100%. I might do an episode near the end where I kind of go back and grab all the extra stuff, just get the special 100% ending. But that's not a it's not a big requirement. It's just kind of playing through the game, at sort of at own pace, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Looking at the graphics of this game just gets me more nostalgic for the SpongeBob movie game, but I don't want this to be just about the SpongeBob movie game. I just have a lot more memories with that game.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, me personally, again, that was actually the very first video game I ever owned, and not the first I played. That would probably be like Jack and Daxter or something like that. But that was definitely the first game I owned because I got that for Christmas along with GameCube because it was on the GameCube. And yeah, I definitely have some more memories with that one, but I still love this one and its its similarities to that game.
One of the first video games I owned was Lego Star Wars, and I almost 100% that game. If it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't reach this one final item before I 100%ed it, it was just a 99%. I, I, I am at a loss right now. I just wanted to bring up my first ever video game. Wait, I think I got something, but yeah, it wasn't later until I finally got to play this, and it wasn't because I heard it was a cult classic. It was because it was a game that came before the SpongeBob movie, and it plays like the SpongeBob movie, so I decided to get it at GameStop and play it, and I still have it. It's one of the few things I have that I didn't sell to GameStop when I was a selfish kid.
You see, I was kind of the opposite of that. I didn't get that one till later either. I got that one on GameCube in like 2009, something like that. Before I had played it before, but only at friends' houses because I didn't really have a lot of the games then. But I remember some of the friends I had growing up, they would have the PS2 version, which is again the one I'm playing here. But they had that one. I remember playing this game, Sonic Heroes and Sonic Riders early on. And that was kind of how I got exposed to this one. But yeah, again, the movie game is more what I'm used to. But the first time I 100%ed this game was back in maybe 2011 or something like that. I can't remember exactly when. But yeah, I definitely, I can definitely relate. I got this one kind of later on too. Like I said in the first episode, I really do have to extend my appreciation for that whole community. Because while I'm not personally, I mean, I'm not really into speedrunning or anything like that. I mean, I'm a total casual player, which is fine. But I really do think they helped, with the revival of the interest in the game, and I really think they played a big part in why Rehydrating is coming out, and I can't thank them enough for that,
I never knew about Shift's existence until you pointed him out, and my God, I guess he really was the fucking him and his viewers and their interest in this game is what really made Rehydrated into a thing.
Yeah, it's a whole collective thing, and I know they have that. I know he's got that what is it, that documentary kind of talking about speedrunning and stuff like that. But yeah, this won't be about speedrunning or anything. Again, I'm a total casual player, and that's actually one big reason I actually wanted to do this Let's Play was because I hadn't seen too much sort of casual representation for the game. The speedrunning is great and everything. I'm totally into that. But really the only casual representation I'd seen for the game is, people like Game Grumps and stuff like that doing it, and it's kind of the usual thing, where they're like, oh, why did so many people, suggest this game to us? I don't get it, and it's like, that's what's ever, that's beside the point.